Hello everyone, welcome to Bushido Heroes of Nippon, session 72. I'm RxOliver and these are my friends. Let's do it. Evening everyone.
Oh, greet all. So, when we'd finished last time, it was 23rd Kizuragi.
Was it?
I believe it was 23rd Kizuragi.
I looked at the last page of my notes, I must have looked at bandits.
Oh dear.
I had 11th Utsuki, I definitely looked at the wrong campaign.
Despite the heavy showers, you all attended a ceremony at the shrine where the priest successfully invoked the dreams of the kami of the Thousand Valleys, and you were each granted a blessing, which, unlike normal priestly blessings, will last until you invoke it. So, no doubt when that happens, you will each reveal which blessing you chose.
I chose the BCS by 9. That's written at the bottom of my sheet.
Very good. So, I believe, looking at it, it is actually springtime.
Did you say 23 Kizuragi, Dave? Yeah.
23rd Kizuragi is
Cool.
the day of the ceremony. And you spend the rest of the day relaxing. And on the 24th, you may decide to set forth. What are your plans? I mean, you can plan this on the 23rd.
Yep. Kinzo.
I think Kinzo will do the ritual anyway, just out of interest to see what comes up.
Yep.
Very good.
We will proceed back towards civilization, as it were.
1 second while I move you all to the map.
Anyone's got any better ideas?
Ritual failed yesterday,
That sounds
didn't it? If I remember correctly.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you tried it.
After those 3 consecutive failures, I haven't tried.
So, please make your roll, Kinzo.
Yeah.
To see whether you are successful in casting the ritual. You will get a bonus of 1d6 because of the location you're doing this ritual in.
Oh, we made it anyway.
Well, you made a bonus of 3. And you've made it. So 1 second while I draw on a line.
Made it by 10 then, effectively.
Oh, nice.
Lovely.
The additional day of rest, does that also count towards healing rates and things like that?
It does indeed. Your healing rate recovers.
Lovely.
Mine's is back to normal.
Yeah, mine is 2 now.
Happy days.
That'll all start refreshing, fully fit.
Not got any damage either. Yep, all fit. Ready to go.
I'll stay side of this line. Can one of you tell me this is the kami of the...
Greens.
So was that Nick?
Greens, I believe. Probably a 3.
No. It's not the kami of this. This is the dream of the kami. The kami is asleep.
Oh, right.
Like
But-
Cthulhu.
Like Great Cthulhu.
Because she's so powerful, it is possible to invoke her while she is asleep. She's nowhere near as powerful as when she is awake, but
So what is she the kami of?
she is the kami of winter. What is it? Winter warmth, I think it is.
Okay.
Let me just summon up the information that I created for you.
Sorry, I wasn't wanting to distract you.
Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum. Okay, it is the kami of winter warmth. And just to recap for those of you who may have missed the earlier episodes, this is the Valley of the Thousand Autumns. It is a place of mystery within Nippon. The valley contains Lake Nukumori, the Lake of Warmth, which is fed from 6 hot springs, which were originally pleasantly warm. And the peaceful forest which grows around the lake is a deciduous forest, and oddly, its leaves never fall until the fresh leaves of spring come out, and therefore it is always autumn, and hence the name, the Valley of the Thousand Autumns. On the shore of the lake is the Autumn Pagoda, a shrine to the Kami of winter warmth, which contains the sacred gong, used to drive off invaders from the valley so they cannot harm the Kami that sleeps within the lake. Long ago, the Kami put some of her power into 4 wind chimes, which were distributed around the entrances to the valley to keep out spirits and monsters. 18 months ago, they were stolen. The party, luckily, came across one in the horde of one of the bandits they defeated, and following various clues within the sacred writings of Shinto, made their way to the valley and found that all was not well. The wind chimes are believed to have been stolen by humans who were not affected by them. The chimes themselves, you're still not entirely sure of the effect. You've been told that they frighten away evil creatures, and you do indeed have proof of this, because when you were chasing a Yakuza who had one of these, he had been captured by a hag, and when she searched him and found the wind chime, she inadvertently rang it as she pulled it out, at which point all her Bakemono followers, or minions, ran away, which was very auspicious for the party since they were in the middle of fighting them. However, you have discovered that obviously the wind chime does not affect the person who is holding it, because the hag did not run away immediately. Once she noticed that all her followers had run away, she then did run away, turning invisible and disappearing in a cloud of dust. Well, metaphorical dust. You didn't actually see the dust because she was invisible. But she certainly didn't want to hang around with you lot about.
I'm still sore that we never caught her. I'm really sore about that.
The problem is that the priest of the valley, Okuda Kageyasu, is concerned that evil is plotting to cause problems for the valley, for the Isle of Kyūryū, in that the hot springs which feed the Lake of Warmth are getting extremely hot, so much so that it's killing the fish in the streams themselves, and the Lake of Warmth is actually warming up. Now, the Kami of Winter Warmth wakes when the winter gets very cold, and she fights with the Kami of Winter Cold to prevent it from becoming too powerful and the cold of winter killing all the beings on the island. If the lake gets too warm, then when the cold descends, ice will not form on the lake. And it's the forming of ice on the lake which wakens the Kami of Winter Warmth in order to carry out her duties. So the concern is something is causing the hot springs to become even hotter, and the fact that the wind chimes have been stolen would seem to indicate that they have some part to play. Possibly this couldn't happen if they were back, and therefore you have all been, well, Kinzo in particular has volunteered on the quest to try and seek all these wind chimes and return them to the valley.
Oh, we've all volunteered to do it. Kinzo took on, it was his quest, but we volunteered to follow him on it. We've all.
And you are
taken on it.
indeed very honourable to do so. Now, one of the wind chimes, was stolen by a hag. Now, all her followers have obviously disappeared, but the hag herself was fleeing with the wind chime, and assuming that is the closest wind chime, then Kinzo's ritual reveals that it is in that direction, which is still pointing towards
that
the
way
mountains.
or that way?
No, it is pointing towards the mountains.
To the right.
Over in that direction.
This one, yeah. Which is something like north, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's tilted about 45 degrees that way, isn't it?
North is somewhere up in that direction, so this is actually west into the mountains.
Right, okay. Yeah, right, so it's tilted that way 45 degrees, so that's west.
When you mention this to the High Priest, he will mention that there is a place of ill omen.
Didn't see where that was.
Pointing to that.
Oh, right.
Another, inverted commas, place of mystery. Just like the Valley of the Thousand Autumns is a place of mystery, but a good one. That is a place of mystery, and it's supposed to be the center of power of an evil Oni.
Oh.
Can you tell us anything else about it?
It is not the Lord of the Mountains, but apparently it is one of his minions. Now, he believes that the wind chimes would also repel Oni, as they are supernatural creatures which the power of the kami would affect. Now, how welcoming the Oni is going to be when a hag turns up bearing something which might terrify him, difficult to tell.
I hope the Oni kills. I hate that bitch. I hate her, eh? I hate that hag. Like, I really hate her, eh? Kyūryū's not hated anyone in a long time, and I really hate her.
What do you hate her for?
Just because I never caught her, and it really annoyed me. No one gets away from Kyūryū. No one gets away from. I catch everybody, and that's really got to me. I'm really sore about it.
No.
She's just acting the way she is.
First person that ever got away from Kyūryū.
That's just her nature. She can't help it.
Well, it's obviously her nature to run away from Kyūryū the hero.
I'm gonna slap the teeth off her if I ever catch her. Like.
Well, you just have to hope that you don't become a supernatural creature, because then the wind chime would affect you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I would, if I went through some supernatural transformation, if I died or something, I'm sure I would turn it into some good spirit and not some evil one.
Depends on the circumstances of your death, really.
You don't even need to die. You could be turned into something like a Rakshasa.
I don't know why we're talking about this anyway, boys. I'm not getting turned into nothing. I'll turn you all into unemployed if you're not quiet.
Anyway, the priest is uncertain as to what is likely to happen, because he thinks it's unlikely that the humans who they believe stole the wind chimes did so off their own volition. So they were either paid to do it, or given favours to do it, or ordered to do it by
Some evil boogeyman.
their lords for some
This
reason.
was something I was
Or
going to
some
ask,
evil
because
being.
if the wind chimes went missing 18 months ago,
Yes.
and we're finding them now in the near vicinity, in 18 months, they could have taken them to Korea or, you know,
Mhm.
lands beyond
Mhm.
where we have knowledge of. So if one's still in the area, why is it still in the area? Like, somebody obviously close by wants it, and we should try and speak to our rabbit-shaped friends who we think we could possibly get some answers from.
Well, it's possible that because the magic, or whatever we're going to call it, that's embedded in those wind charms is effectively part of the kami. Maybe it gets weaker if it's taken too far away.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe if they're taken off the island, the power would return to the kami. The priest does not know.
I had a question. Did we get a tracker? Did we actually get a proper tracker yet? Because we need one.
We do.
We did, didn't we?
Fuhon'i, but we need one.
Well, you haven't got a tracker because having returned to the village of Nishimea, you realised exactly where you are and you knew the route up to the Valley of the Thousand Autumns. So you travelled up the river and then across the valley, the intervening valley, to reach your destination.
Yeah, we need a real tracker.
The route. Well, it depends what you're going to be doing. If you're just returning to civilization.
I mean, if we're doing anything apart from going up and down the Hokkaido, we need a tracker because we get lost everywhere we go. Because nobody's got any tracking ability. Only when we get lucky we don't get lost. We've been lost too many times for us not to have a full-time tracker as an NPC tagging along with us. We're rich enough to have porters when we need porters. We're powerful enough to have priests when we need priests. We should have a tracker.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we're not far off needing one when we're in Nobioka, let alone anywhere else.
Listen, I
We're
am.
alright, we're okay if there's a road to follow.
We're okay up and down the main road, but I think we should have a tracker when we go anywhere off it, like now, full time. Yeah, full time.
Well,
I don't want to get lost again.
Once you're in civilized country, you can generally travel without problems, because even if there isn't a road, given how populated the island is, in civilized terrain, you can generally come across somebody working in the forest or in the fields and ask directions.
We'll still find a way to get lost though.
It's only when you're in the back country, you know, the rough terrain and
Let's be honest, the last time they asked someone for directions in this area, that's how I joined the party, and I've been leading them quite astray.
Almost as if you were a plant.
Almost as if you were a plant. You said it, no me, Benjy.
Have you checked him for kind of rabbit markings?
Plot twist.
I dosed him in the water the other week there when he was unconscious. Yeah, I checked. Didn't see no rabbit markers. Why do you think I volunteered so willingly?
Luckily, you don't have any Irizumi for Fuhon'i. So, is it your intention to return to civilization because you know the way to Nishimea? If you are traveling to Yumogita across the lake, you can just get a fisherman to take you there, and you then have a road out to Suri, and then you can follow the roads to Oita.
Yeah, I think we go to Yumogita. Yumogita. By boat if one's available.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think with the lining up of the ritual to that dark site of mystery, do you not think it's worth just going there? Do you not think she maybe went there and it's worth having a go?
Did we not say last time that we needed to restock before we went any further into the wilds? That's my only question.
We need a tracker,
We need a tracker. We don't want to certainly don't want to be wandering around a mountain.
No, we're doing a track. We're getting a tracker before we attempt it. But I think we need to just go for that. Go for that. Keep doing the ritual every day. But if it keeps pointing to that, I think we go for that site. Kill whatever big bad guy, big monsters there, and.
It's an ally. They're tough.
We're
tough, Kinzo.
There are 3 wind chimes that you are seeking.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the closest.
Mm-hmm.
But where are the other 2?
But the thing is, if we don't find the closest one, then we're not going to find the others because our reading's always going to give us the closest one. We can't look
that's
for
why
the
I'm
other
planning
ones.
on moving back towards the coast. Hopefully
Yeah,
the
maybe
coast
then maybe a different one will be the closest one if we do.
Yeah, even if we have to head.
The longer this hag evades me, the crazier it's going to drive me. I really want to try and get her, and I think she went there.
So your purpose isn't to assist Kinzo in his quest.
No, it is.
It's merely
Listen,
placate your
It's
feelings of
revenge.
pique.
I would also like to catch this hag, but that's not the main thing. It's about the wind chime, and I think that our best bet is to go for that one. I think moving away from it is counterproductive, but it's Kinzo's mission and it's his decision.
I hate to say this, boss. I think your chances of becoming a benevolent spirit after death are getting further and further every day.
Well, because I want a hag captured. She's evil. She's evil. I'm good. I'm the good that's versus evil. Some people have got to be the good versus evil. Not everybody can be neutral and just try and be nice and have good karma. You've got to fight things. You've got to fight evil things if you're good. Somebody's got to fight for good. And I'm good.
Oh, you're the vengeful cleric.
But I would much prefer to try and get one of the other wind chimes before we go into the mountains. Then we can use it as a weapon to help us.
Having multiple wind chimes versus the Oni does sound somewhat useful.
At least hopefully dispel some of the Oni's minions.
Like I said, the final decision is yours.
Yeah, and I'm going to cross the lake back to the other end and get the boat if we can.
Yep. And then we're going to go and speak to some rabbits.
Yeah.
See what they know.
May as well on the way, because
Might as well,
they may give us a better idea of where would be a better place to go to find the next closest one.
Aye.
The last chime was in a school, wasn't it? The guy took it to gain power over the school. Was that the reason he said he took it?
It was in the
Yeah.
Rising Slope Shrine.
Not shrine, not school, yeah.
Oh, it was in a
Can-
shrine. Okay.
Now, if
Does
you
anyone-
remember, when you got there, you found that the Yakuza who'd been causing you problems had got there before you, killed the
They nicked
priest,
it.
and taken the wind chime. So the question is, how did they know the wind chime was there?
My thought is that we're going to find these wind chimes in shrines or schools, or with this most likely shrines, and they're all going to be fire related or heat related, and I think it's been done to drive off the kami of the lake.
Yeah.
I think that we should pay attention to the names of schools. We should possibly ask what their devotion is towards. If they're like fire based, I forget how it works with shrines.
Shrines are normally to a kami, and the kami is either one of the big national kami that cover the entire island, or more local, or to a kami of a particular industry, or it varies from shrine to shrine.
We went past one of the shrines that was to the fire, and that was the one that was the only one that hadn't been set alight by the arsonist.
Yep.
That wasn't the one where the wind chime was.
Yeah, they were burning shrines, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah,
We're burning
but
shrines. but
they left the fire one alone.
the one that was
Where-
dedicated to a
does anyone-
fire one was not being molested.
And that also wasn't the one that had the wind chime had it, so there was a little bit of a discrepancy on that one. But does anyone actually have in their notes where the bandits were that we originally got this wind chime from?
Yeah, that was up in the hills where we first met the.
1 second.
I don't think you were part of the group at that point, Fury.
Oh, sorry, the other
The original one, the one that we
chime.
actually got.
Yeah.
The one that we
Right.
actually got.
Apologies, yeah, I wasn't with you at that point.
If you remember, you fought the bandits in the hills here. Let me just... Yes.
Where?
It was to the
Big
north
pig.
of Okaza, if you
Oh,
remember.
I'm zoomed way
He
out.
was
Could you
a-
ping?
There.
Has anyone else seen the ping?
Nope.
Nope.
Is it here?
Oh yeah, the,
Oh, got
Hang
No,
on a
that
second.
was me.
yeah. Oh, you.
There.
Ah, there.
Ah,
Right, I
yeah.
see it. I
Right.
see it. I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where we got off the boat and fought the bandits, right? Yeah, so
Yep.
we were on that mission with the Lord, and it was his detour. He heard about some bandits on that island, so he wanted to go fight the bandits. We did, and we found the wind chime. It was
Yep,
when we
that
were
one
with
was
that
heading
Lord
If
on
you,
the
if, you,
boat.
if, you, if you remember, you heard about the bandit when you docked at Manabo,
And he heard about them. He was like, "Oh, I want to go get the bandits." The Lord that we were
and
working
you
for.
went looking for him, and you travelled north and then, sorry, northeast and then east to Okaza.
Didn't he lose a couple of his men doing that? That Lord.
Yeah.
He did,
He
eh?
did indeed.
so
Lord
there may
Kanawa.
be more.
Lord
There may be
Kanawa.
more. There may be more wind chimes in this sort of area.
Maybe.
So we didn't know about the ritual at that point.
The priest will suggest that the further you get away from the one that the hag is carrying, the more likely you are that you will be
find another
closer
one.
to one of the other ones.
That's why I want to head. What's the coast?
If we do come all the way out to the coast,
If you
though,
would,
and we
if you
don't,
were to say, if you were to say where that was south, and the one that we were trying to get was west, could we potentially be looking at north and east for the other two?
East is wet.
What's happened to my
1
map?
second.
My map has gone completely.
So,
Oh, I did change
if-
map thing. Oh, that's
if we go all the way to
Just
the
changing
coast,
to a map of the island.
if we go all the way to the coast, Nick, right, and then
Yeah.
we do everything we're doing, we go talk to the rats, and we do whatever we're going to do, and then it's not pinging another one, it's still pinging the same one. The mission is then to go back and get it. It'd be a bit better prepared to go into the mountains, right?
Yeah, if that happens, then we have to rethink.
We have to rethink about going back for that one, yeah, and just preparing to go in the mountains.
The
What-
first one you found was there.
We're in spring, aren't we,
Yep.
David?
Yeah.
Yes, the first one you found was there.
Yep.
The second one you found was up here.
Okay, it's not at all what I was thinking then. Damn.
Didn't think it was. And that one is currently somewhere in the mountains.
In the
here.
mountains over here, aye.
Okay. That's out
Valley of the Thousand Autumns is roughly here from memory.
Oh, really, we really have been travelling for a while.
Oh yeah.
And we've got until the end of the year, did they say, for us to get this all sorted? And three was
Well,
better. 3 of them was better than 4.
Well, 4 would be better,
Three's better than
but
none. Three's
having
better
having
than two.
looked at the range that the wind chimes can reach, you know, their power reaches, he thinks that you could probably cover the 6 springs with 3 if you can't manage to get all 4. 4 you could definitely cover them. 3 you might need to have people guarding them to make sure that the nobody sneaks in through a chink between the sounds. Okay.
Yep.
So let me move you back to the map. And you are in the valley.
So we want to go back to Nishimea. Is it
Nishimea.
top of the lake?
Nishimea? Yep.
Across the lake, and then basically follow the stream and/or road all the way out.
Yes. Now, whether you go to Tsurui and then south to Hachisuka Castle, or whether you continue on to the Saikaido and then south to Oita,
I think straight on to the
Entirely up to you.
Saikaido, just for quicker.
Let's go to the Saikaido.
Yeah, I think so.
We got stopped by the castle last time, and they were a bit funny. I know we do have notes of to help with that, but The sky door is quicker.
Let's get a little reminder as well before we go travelling, David. We are in a province where we are allowed to carry weapons, right?
At present, yes.
And
It's only when you return to Hyuga province.
And what about wearing armour? What's the situation with that if I get back into the Saikaido and Rhodes? Is wearing armour appropriate or not? No.
Well, it depends on the circumstances. If you are caught in suspicious circumstances, carrying weapons and wearing armour, you will be treated with suspicion. But there is no automatic peasants cannot wear armour or carry weapons in Bungo province.
I mean, if it's to keep me and my friends safe, then I'm gonna wear my armour.
I would advise you not to.
You think so?
Yeah, unless we know we're going into a fight.
Any samurai having a bad day could take offense.
We're attracting attention to ourselves. And
okay.
As Baka said, when samurai's in a bad mood, he might decide to pick on you.
You're right.
Giving you
As always. You're right.
So-
Your wisdom. He's about 3 weeks older than me, Kinzo, and I'm like, you're old, so much older and wiser, Kinzo.
Dave, can I get some clarification on what we remember, what I might remember from the roughly the size of the rabbit gang in Oita? So from what I can remember, we had actually split the rabbit gang kind of down the middle, and half of it had sided with us and we're going to try and overthrow the other half.
Yep.
And the half that fled was the bad half, and that was the one that had gone to Oita.
Well, you hadn't got the half of the rabbits on your side, probably about a third of them, but the iron fist of the daimyo came down hard in Miyazaki, and the rabbit gang were basically forced out. So the ones that were siding with your home gang in Nobioka, that they were hoping to take over, have effectively moved out of the city and gone into hiding. It was under martial law effectively the last time you'd heard, and the docks were being patrolled, and the rabbits themselves, what was left of them, had been kicked out and was trying to muscle in Oita.
So do we have a rough idea of numbers of the rabbit gang that went? Because we were in touch with their quite high general.
How many boots can they put
well, you
on
don't
the
know how
ground?
many are in Oita. You reckon that the gang themselves were probably in the somewhere between 1 and 200, and they've probably been cut in half with the effect of the daimyo's iron fist, and of that half, 2/3. Well, no, it's not even that. Of that between 1 and 200, a third were favouring your home gang, and they probably pretty much got away unscathed. The 2/3 that were left got hammered, and at least halved, possibly worse. So worst case scenario, they started with probably about 130, and they're probably down below 50.
Right.
That's probably what's trying to muscle in Oita.
Right, I've got a suggestion. I might take Boss and Kinzo to one side, because I think they're the ones, but I don't really want... Sorry, the rest of the group, I don't really want everyone to know this, but I don't need to go to Whisper Channel or whatever.
That's fine, mate. That's fine.
After my amazing win at the sumo match in Osaki, there is the Sly Hand Gang that is kind of neutral, somewhat friendly to the Rat Gang in Osaki.
Asuki.
It might be that we could maybe go and, instead of having to go all the way back to Nobioka to get the Rat Gang involved, the Sly Hand Gang might be interested in potentially expanding towards Oita and helping us out a little bit to deal with this?
Well, you're pretty certain that there's probably already a Yakuza gang in Oita. Other
Whether
than
they've been swallowed up.
And it's a case of whether or not they were powerful enough to resist, or whether there's an ongoing fight.
And you're on
Or
friendly
what
terms
going-
with this neutral gang. What are they called? The Sly Hand.
The Rat Gang. Yeah, the Rat Gang are neutral/friendly is what I've got written here. Plus, with my reputation of the sumo match, I can.
Sorry, was it Sly? Was it Sly Hand?
SLY, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just putting it out there as
Was
a
it-
potential.
So are they quite a smaller gang who would be interested in a big power move like that, and a chance to gain a bit foothold like that? You think that would be?
That I have no knowledge of.
Yeah. Okay.
Usuki is about the same size as. I think it's about the same size as Nobioka. Let me just double check that. Bushido.
And let me just double check this, like factions and relations. The rats are the ones from Nobioka who we are friendly terms with, and you are one of them,
Member.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just double checking. We've worked with them a couple of times. Even before you, we worked with them a couple of times.
Yeah.
We're on good terms with them.
Yes. Asuki is a Class D town, the same
Same
as
Nobioka.
Nobioka. Miyazaki, Nobioka, Usuki, Oita, and Wakamatsu are all Class D, as is Nakatsu. Kakura and Shimonoseki, way up on the northeastern end of the island, are Class C.
Miyazaki
They're
is the
big
home
cities.
of the rabbit gang, isn't it?
Correct. Down in South Hyuga.
South Hyuga. I'm pretty solid on the lore for that stuff. I remember all that quite well. Like,
Should have been a Yakuza.
you just start to remember a lot of stuff when you've been playing for 70 odd sessions. Like,
No offense, boss, but you'd have made a good Yakuza.
oh, I would make a good Yakuza, but I'm not.
Well,
I'm
no,
not- I'm
Yakuza
not-
don't go killing people, willy-nilly.
I don't kill people willy nilly. I kill people accidentally, mentally. It's not willy nilly. It's accidentally, mentally.
No, but when they do, they make sure they
No.
cover their tracks, which he's very good at.
Well, if you are kind of keen on being a good guy and doing down the bad guys, you could always go and try and clear up the hill of Takuga, couldn't you, Kyūryū?
Listen. It wouldn't take much persuading to send me up there. I would just need a bit.
The
of
origin of the
intelligence.
that's the origin of the way of the accidental fist, wasn't it?
Correct.
It is.
Okay.
Episode
so
7. If you're new to watching, it's episode 7, the famous first accidental fist incident.
Okay,
Certainly
so
wasn't the
the
episode that I
party.
heard that I went, I have to be in that group.
So the party is setting out from the Valley of the Thousand Autumns, traveling southeast to the river, and then down the river to the village of Nishimea on the lake. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Very good. So, I believe you are planning on leaving on the 24th Kizuragi, i.e.
Yep.
tomorrow.
Just probably straight after Kinzo's done his thing.
The priest at the shrine and his assistant will wish you well. They will give you each a blessing for the day, which will last till
Ooh.
sundown. Which you don't actually get to use because you reach the river safely.
Okay. Question. A reminder. We still have with us a priest from Nishimea who wanted to check out we still have a priest from somewhere who wanted to check out the valley. Where's he from again?
He's from Oita.
Oita. Yeah. But he's with us throughout this mission now, isn't he?
The high priest in the senior priest in the shrine in Oita appointed him to assist Kyūryū.
And he is
because
to
was
assist us
concerned.
throughout whatever we do for this mission, isn't he?
He probably won't want to be around the. We probably won't want him around. I certainly don't want him around the gang stuff.
No, we're not gonna have him around the gang stuff, but he's gonna be
Let me
still.
clarify.
He's still gonna be nearby and with us. We're taking him along wherever we go.
He
now.
He is from the Chiriku Hachiman Shrine in Oita, and Kanushi Kawabe Katashige appointed him to assist
Until the job is
Kinzo
done.
in his quest.
Mm-hmm.
He would, if you are going to Uita, he would like to report back to his Kanushi to tell him what's been going on and give him more information.
Update him, yeah, but he'll still be coming with us after that.
Well, that is his mission as given to him by his Kanushi, yes. Unless his Kanushi changes his mission.
This is a huge mission. There's no way he's going to do that. Not unless
It's
he's
unlikely,
bribed.
to be honest.
I'm saying that's boss.
The threat of Kyūryū being engulfed in winter snow and ice for the entire year is worrying. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it kills all the crops. It kills all the agriculture. Everyone dies. There's no food. It
Exactly.
freezes all the lakes. There's no fish. It fucks everything up. There's no food.
Yes. The Lord of the Mountains is probably behind it, he will tell you.
And call me violent if you want, but I'll have his head one day as well, boys. I'm not violent. I am just good. I am proactive for the force of good fighting evil. It's not violent. I'm proactive.
Well, what's evil? It's just a matter of power, isn't it?
No, it's a matter of what you do with that power.
No, power is there to be controlled. If you don't control it, somebody else will. And, you will do a much better job of it, won't you? Which is why you go for it. You wouldn't want anybody else to have that power.
I'm going to deal with the Lord of the Mountains. Don't worry about it. He will be dealt with.
What's that I smell? Is that pure copium? Can I make a suggestion? If we are going back, can we go back via this road just to get rid of it?
I mean, we
You're
could.
playing on Kyūryū's love of clearing
I mean,
space up.
I'm not going to take much convincing. Like, I want to see the world, and that's a piece of the world I've not seen yet.
We'll stick to the road. It's just there's no road there, as they used to.
No, there is.
Oh, I'm sure. So when we went past that town, I'm sure I saw a little road heading out that way.
You could go down there and across there. I'm all for that, Baka. You know I am. I'm all for that. It's not going to be any slower. Well, it's a wee bit slower because it's one section less of Saikaido. But nah, I'm up for it, Baka. If you want to.
If we're out seeing the
Lead
world,
your
we may as well
party
see the world.
astray, Baka, out into the hills.
Listen, our overall mission as people is to see the world, as well as all our other missions and personal missions and group missions. Your mission as a person is to see as much of the world as you can. Baka is indulging that.
So why are you talking about going back via the lake? Why don't you just wander through the rough terrain to the north or south of it? And
if we had a
see the
tracker,
world that way?
I would be all about that. But I'm not in the mood to get lost again at the moment.
We'll just walk one reed to the right of the road.
Yeah, just sticking up our line of what we've got.
Okay. So you travel to the river and camp, and it's a partly overcast day. Temperature reaches the 17s, but there's a high wind which is blowing the clouds hither and yon, and all is peaceful, apart from the trees shaking in the wind overnight as you're camping. But again, you have a peaceful night. Right, does anything happen to you travelling down the river? Does the Kami of the river object to you muddying his waters? No. The Kami of the river is obviously sleeping. You reach the village of Nishimea, and you are welcomed as pilgrims to the Valley of the Thousand Autumns. They ask if all is well and how the valley is looking. Did you bring any of the leaves? No, probably not.
No.
Okay. You are put up for the night in the village. The headman.
I stay with my family.
They are delighted to hear your tales of running quickly backwards and forwards and such like.
I regale them with tales of the dreaming Kami.
They are rapt in attention, and they will say prayers in the household shrine for the good of the Kami, and they will say prayers for you because you are on a quest for the Kami to protect her from the evils of the Kami of winter cold, and you may have a point of on for rising in the esteem of your family.
Very nice.
Okay. Are you looking to get transport across the river?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're staying in Nishimea, and then that's the next day we're going across the river, yeah? Across
Correct.
the lake, yeah.
It'll be 26 Kyūryū when you're crossing the lake.
25, isn't it?
And... No. 24th you travelled to the river and camped. 25th you travelled down the river and reached Nishimea. And the 26th you are travelling across the lake. You don't have any difficulty. The headman will assign fishing boats to carry you there, and as luck would have it, there is a fresh breeze from the west driving you across the lake. Does anything happen on the lake? Any water creatures take your situation amiss? Nope. And you reach Yumogita.
How long does it take us to cross the lake? About.
With the fresh breeze from the west on your starboard quarter, you get across in a day.
Yeah, okay. I guess I will give 6 coppers, I think, to the fisherman. The compensation for his loss.
They are very grateful, but this was assigned to them by the headman in the service of the Kami of the Valley of the Thousand Autumns.
Oh.
And
donate it to the shrine in the village.
they will gratefully accept, and they will donate it to the shrine when they return. And you stay in Yumogita, and there is a much lower knowledge of the Valley of the Thousand Autumns in Yumogita. The further you get from the valley, the less people know about it. They know the legend, but they don't actually know where it is. So the fact that you have travelled from the mystical valley, etc., it's somewhere over there. And boom. You are speaking with the headman when an Ashigaru turns up, bows politely to the headman, and tells him that his lord wishes to see the travellers, and he is to escort you to see his lord.
Well, obviously we'll bathe before we go.
Is this in Yumogita on the night of the 26th after we've crossed the lake?
You cross the lake, you reach there in the evening of the
Yep.
26th, and when you're speaking with the headman on arrival,
Yeah.
one of the village lords, Ashigaru, turns up and says his lord wishes to speak with you. Or, sorry, speak with the travellers.
Then we shall go and speak with him.
Very good. Where are we? Where are we? That's what I was looking for. Okay. Clear. So, Bungo. He will escort you to see his lord, and you are taken in to see Iwashita and Nobuaki. 1 second, while I just post it up for you. Saves me having to spell it. Iwashita Nobuaki.
Okay.
And it is a relatively small village. What class is it? Yumogita, that's the one. Class D. Sorry, class E. So it's actually not that bad. I lost that. Anyway, the Lord has heard of your troubles. He will greet the priest, who is obviously the senior member of the party, and tell him he has heard of his travels and that he is on some kind of quest, and he is concerned about a haunting in the mountains in the hills to the north of the village. Apparently, one of the herb women in the village actually lived up in a shack on the hill to the north, and she died recently, and it is believed her shack is haunted, and he would be grateful if the priest could go and lay her spirit to sleep, as it is causing some disturbance in the village.
I'll look at Kinzo. It's Kinzo's mission. We have to interrupt this priest along on Kinzo's mission, so Kinzo's permission you need for that.
That's fine. We'll do that. No problem.
Okay. And he is most grateful to the priest, and will offer to put him and his disciple, i.e. Kinzo, up for the night, and he will instruct the headman to put up the rest of the priest's retinue in the inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a quiet night is had in the village, and you can get more information on the events. Apparently, the herb woman was found dead, killed by some forest creature to the north, which is surprising because she was apparently on good terms with the forest creatures, and they had never attacked her before. And since then, it is thought that her ghost is haunting the the shack where she lived, and the villagers are concerned that her spirit is uneasy and ask that something be done about it. If the priest can see his way clear to relieving their fears and sorting out whatever the ghost's problem is, then he would be grateful.
Of course. Did the lady live on her own?
Well, she lived in the village, but she went out at the beginning of the week and stayed in the shack up on the mountain, on the hills, because she had herbs growing around the shack, and she went into the forests to seek mushrooms and other plants that didn't grow next to the village itself.
Do you have any
And then she returned to the village. So it was while she was out staying in the shack, she was obviously killed by a forest creature.
Does she have any family in the village? Or anybody she lived with?
No, she was a widow, and she was late middle-aged rather than elderly. And so she was highly regarded because her herbal potions often helped people get over gout and such like, and the normal diseases.
I definitely want to help this village. I'm happy to do that.
Certainly help.
Yes. What was the old Hagar the Horrible cartoon? Any illnesses? Oh, leprosy, Black Death, dysentery, rabies. Oh, I'll just put down normal childhood diseases. Anyway, so you spend the night, and the following day, which is 27 Kizuragi, dawns with clear skies. It looks like being a nice day. There's a strong breeze from the north blowing in off the northern shore of the lake. And he will assign you a villager to take you to the shack of the wise woman. One second, I will just dig out the wise woman's name. I should have given you this.
I was going to ask you for a guide, but it's been anyway.
Okay.
Glad you got lost.
Yeah, I'll end up getting lost. Well, you need Kinzo because he was our guide. Never mind.
The old lady's name was Sakuma.
Sakuma.
Okay.
Let's go and see what's happening to her.
Right, you are taken northeast out of the village, up the hillside, and I will reveal a little bit of the map.
Yay.
Hey.
My fave.
Don't even have to drag you off in odd directions. There you go. And her shack is up on the side of that hill just there.
Okay.
Actually, I'll give you a little bit more than that. There you go.
Okay.
Righty-ho, so you are taken up there by the villager, who will stop at the edge of a grove of trees and point to a little pathway leading through the trees, and tell you that the path leads to her shack, if you stay on the path, then the forest goblins shouldn't get you, because Her Holiness will kind of keep them away. But or at least they hope it will. They're not sure now that she might be angry about something.
I ask him, do you not want to come with us? You never know, the goblins, they might find you here on your own.
Well, no, I'm not going into the forest. I was just asked to lead you here by the headman.
If you think you're safe from the goblins on your own.
Well, it's a clear run back to the village, and they've never bothered the village.
Well, who knows what happens when there's a ghost now? If you wanna risk it.
Oh well, the ghost is in the shack, isn't
Let
it?
the man go. Let the man go.
Okay. He turns and heads back towards the village somewhat more quickly than he came.
I'll give him 2 copper, David.
He will thank you in a slightly distracted manner and continue on.
Walking quickly, and then when he gets down the corner, he runs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Well, if you're going to disturb a ghost, a wise man never hangs around.
No.
Done it.
That's why I wanted to get him to stay.
Thank him for his time and give him the 2 copper.
We need a red shirt, surely.
Yes.
You're the red shirt, what are you on about?
You're the red shirt.
I hate to say it's Benji, if you've got to ask who the red shirt is.
It's definitely you.
If you look round and nobody else is the sap in the party.
Aye. Exactly.
Yes, well, you know the old saying, be not afraid of going slowly, be afraid of standing still.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will also point the following phrase to the lord of the party, or the leader of the party. A well-known Japanese saying. Boasting begins where wisdom stops. Okay, so are you going to venture in on the path? Are you going to venture in off the path?
Wisdom has followed Kyūryū all his life, David, but as you know, Kyūryū's too fast.
Stick to the path, lads.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we don't want to do the South Park thing of going kill boars in the in the woods, in the mountains.
Okay.
Like one in the mountains.
We know there might be goblins in the woods, so we don't want to meet them just yet. We'll
In
stay
fact-
on the
Keep your eyes.
In
Keep
fact,
your eyes peeled.
I'm going to stick my armour on now.
Yeah, now would be a good time.
Probably
No.
sensible.
Now would be a good time. I'm going to pop my armour on.
Alright, so keep your
Okay.
eyes peeled for anything unusual or for any strange tracks on the ground.
Yep.
Give us a shout if you spot anything.
Oh, any strange tracks on the ground? Who's looking for strange tracks on the ground?
Because of
Just
that
people
tracker
looking
we've
for
got.
anything- I'm just wondering if anybody see like big claw marks or anything on the ground. Everything that's
Oh, I see.
Anything
Kind of
out of the
very,
ordinary,
very
yeah.
obvious.
yeah.
I-
None of us are experts. It's going to have to be obvious for us to spot it.
Okay. Would somebody roll a wit saving throw for the party as a whole?
Oh, who fancies
Anybody who
that?
has wit better than that, wit saving throw better than that, will
There we
might
are.
see something.
I'll roll it. 15. I think that's about.
Anyone got a
all right,
wit
isn't it?
saving throw of 15 or less?
I think even Harumi can't make that one.
I
15
don't
or...
think Harumi is going to make that one. So obviously you are distracted, looking into the
Obviously it's-
forest,
Obviously, it's
Watching-
perfectly safe.
watching for goblins, and you don't see the obvious claw marks on the path, or indeed the less obvious claw marks on the path.
Baka's aware of this giant Obakamono show that's been following him that seems to be wearing Getter. Tracks lead right up behind him.
Okay, the path isn't long. It's a relatively small grove. You can see off to the side that I mean you're not experts, but you think that this is probably a maintained grove. Somebody has obviously been planting things and maintaining the plants. So this is obviously somewhere where she comes to get her herbs and whatever, or cane. And
So if
yes.
all of these plants are the herbs, we really want to not be touching or eating any of them, I guess.
Well, I don't know what they are. So.
Getting a bit
Well,
of your wife in
they
the
look
background,
like-
Brian, if you could use push to talk for now.
They look like wild plants, but the distribution is not normal for a forest. Okay, so you would guess that somebody has been planting wildflowers and wild plants and herbs, etc., and maintaining them.
Yeah.
And then harvesting them, yes. But the grove is relatively small, and you break out of it, and you find yourself in a small clearing. Again, there is a shack in the middle of the clearing. It's in reasonable nick. It's not tumble down. And you would guess that it's weatherproof. It's not somewhere that you would want to live on a continuing basis, but as a shelter while you're picking your herbs and drying them, etc., it'd be perfectly adequate. And in front of it and around it, there's herb gardens. The door of the shack is hanging, and it looks to have been broken, but it's been tied up and tied shut. And the garden in front of the shack looks like somebody's had a fight in it. There's herbs trampled, fence knocked over, that sort of thing.
Can I ask our priest friend, if we were to, and I know we don't know what these herbs are necessarily, but if we were to gather some of these herbs and bring them into the shack as a bit of an offering, would that maybe potentially appease the spirit a little and help us?
Do you have any herbalism as a skill?
I was thinking quantity over quality.
Well, if she's a herbalist and you kind of put together herbs which don't match or counteract each other, she might take it amiss.
Yeah, it might be
I was
counterproductive.
going to ask a similar thing, because as well as being a woodsman, I have
Oh,
woodworking
here we go.
and carpentry. I could certainly fix the door.
Well, certainly,
are there
yes.
other things that we could do?
I think
like,
I've got a spot of woodworking as well, actually.
Like we could at least
Oh no, I don't.
put things right, as it were, so that it can be shown that we're.
Well,
we're
he'd be reluctant to have you start messing with the shack, just in case that summons the spirit before you've actually done anything.
Yeah, let's check it out first. But
Yeah.
yes, that's a good offer. We may take you up on that offer.
Yes.
It's
I
not
mean-
it's not a great skill, but I do have a BCS in farming. If that would help me a little bit with
I
herbalisation.
have farming, but not carpentry or herbalism.
Well, farming would certainly allow you to put the herb garden to rights. In other words, straighten
Clean it
up
up
the
a bit.
plants and clean it up. And given that that's not actually, he's not sure where the ghost manifests.
Excellent.
If the door is broken, it looks like something broke into the shack, but the fight outside would seem to indicate that she might have been killed outside. Does anybody have any skill in tracking? He says, hopefully.
Because we've suddenly learned some.
You're having a laugh.
Hunting?
No.
No.
Does Yanagi have
Oh, well.
hunting?
Kinzo's. No, he isn't.
Doesn't Yanagi have something? Hunting? No?
No, the Yanagi
Yanagi
the
is skilled in commerce and massage.
He's a townie. Absolute townie.
Aye.
He's
Yes.
a merchant.
And well, probably best if we attempt to summon the ghost and see.
But yeah, so
See
Kinzo
what his
and
pattern
the
is.
priest, us two will approach the place. The rest of you keep your eyes peeled.
Yep, will do.
Okay.
So Kinzo and the priest will approach.
Well, the priest will try to do a ceremony to placate an unhappy spirit, because if there is a ghost, then it's probably unhappy about something, and that's probably the best thing he can do.
Yeah.
Silly question, but is it worth keeping the wind chime handy?
I think so.
Always.
I don't think so, really. At the moment.
He's not sure that it would have any effect on a ghost, because a ghost is not material; it's a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a wind chime. He believes from what's been said, it affects supernatural creatures, but not natural creatures. So men are immune, but hags and bakemono and oni are not.
If there is a ghost, it'll find out what is created, what caused that ghost to be created.
Yes.
This is all new to me.
So we're going to have a quick approach whatever the priest wants to do.
The priest is going to consult his Shinten and his Japanese classics to see what he thinks would be the most appropriate. So please would you roll a d20 and I'll take the average of the two and see how he does. So a BCS roll for the priest,
Okay.
please.
15. What's wrong with this dice?
Right. Now, does Kinzo have Japanese classics?
It's got Shinten, but not Japanese.
In which case, a BCS roll against half his Shinten.
That still gives you a chance.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a decent rule.
Makes it half his score is still, half his BCS is still 9, I believe. Let me just check. Yep,
So he
still
gets
9.
4 effect numbers on
4
that,
effect
which
numbers.
is actually better than the priest.
Yeah.
Check you out. He's quite the Shintoist these days, Kinzo, eh?
Yes.
And they put their heads together and they come up with what they believe would be an appropriate placatory ritual, and they will attempt to carry out said ritual and summon the ghosts. So now Kinzo doesn't yet have a magic BCS, but can I have effect numbers against a will saving throw for him? This is to try and assist the priest in his ritual.
Oh.
Failed by a lot.
No, so he's not able to assist the priest. So please roll a d20 for the priest.
Okay.
Oh, right off the one.
We're in trouble. We could be in a bit of trouble.
Could be in a wee bit of trouble, boys, yeah.
Angered the ghost.
No, the ritual does not work. Nothing happens.
Just scream if you're in trouble.
Maybe we need to do some kind of placatory gestures to...
The priest retreats from the garden and will talk things over with Kinzo and see whether they can come up with an alternative.
Even though
So
whatever he didn't appear to work, did he get any sense what he might be dealing with?
No, not on that roll.
Not with that roll, that's what I was thinking.
Alright. What's the inside of the hut like?
He was doing this outside the garden in front of the damaged area of the garden, believing that that was where the herb woman was probably killed.
Try it again in the gaff, maybe.
In that case, I suggest we take a short break and eat some food and have a rest, and then we'll try again.
Okie doke. He will certainly do that, and he will have a wander around and see if he can see anything else that might be a guide to what might have happened. And I will allow another wit saving throw for the party to see whether they notice anything. So one roll. Anyone got a wit saving throw of 11?
Harumi,
maybe.
Has anyone got any chance?
We'll give it a
Harumi,
try.
what is your wit saving throw?
9.
Aye, that's under 11.
No. The priest isn't as good as that. No, he doesn't pick anything up in his wandering around the area, and Harumi doesn't notice anything. He will take your point on order and retry the ritual inside the hut. Okay?
Be like guards.
I should go with him, but I'm not going to do anything or say anything. I'm going to sit there behind him.
Okay. Are you going to try and help with the ritual, Kinzo?
If he wants me to, I will.
Well, he would be grateful because you obviously
Yeah,
had some insight because you kind of pointed
Yeah.
him to the appropriate sutras.
Yeah,
Or not
okay.
sutras. It's whatever the Japanese, what the Shinto description for holy scriptures is.
Doritos or something. Yeah.
Noritos.
help him.
Yes. So, in that case, please make a will saving throw and see if you get any effect numbers.
I think that is the 0 effect numbers. I think. Where
Yes,
are we?
but it is a successful will saving throw, so I will
0
give
effect
him-
numbers, but it is a success. Yeah.
Yes, so I will give him a +1 on his roll. So please roll again for him to see whether the placatory ritual
Come
works.
on.
Ooh,
That's
14.
better.
That's a bit not great.
It's not great. It has a chance. It certainly succeeds in summoning the spirit, and rising from the floor in the center of the shack is what looks like an old, not an old lady, a late middle-aged lady who's wearing what looks to be a herbalist's apron. And please roll percentile dice. You want relatively high for her reaction to being disturbed like this.
Well, that's relatively high.
Indeed. Yes, she appears not pleased to see you, but she is not hostile. She will bow politely to the priest. The priest will politely ask if he may be vouchsafed the truth of how she came to leave this mortal coil. And yes, she will tell the priest that she was killed by a wolf controlled by an Oni because she had refused to make poison for him. And she is angry that he would be seeking to poison her village, and she is angry that he had her killed, and she would like the Oni dealt with.
Does she know why the Oni had a grievance with the village?
She believes that the lord of the village hunted and killed some of his favorite wolves.
Okay, that's fair enough.
The Oni is actually, let's see, she will tell you that the Oni lives in, or can be found. Let's just. In a cave there.
What else? I can't see the thing. Okay, goodbye.
I believe I've. Did I
Yeah,
clear enough?
yeah. There's a yellow blob there. Yeah. Okay.
There we are. Either if the Oni is killed or the his quarrel is removed, then she can rest. Because if he no longer has a quarrel with the Lord of the Village, he will not be seeking to attack the village. And if he's no longer around, he will not be seeking to attack the village.
Yeah, well, it's unlikely that the Lord is going to give up hunting the wolves if the wolves are danger to the village.
Oh. Perhaps the Lord would settle his quarrel with the Oni in the appropriate manner, she suggests.
Yes. Does what's his name? The priest's name, Kyūryū something, isn't his name?
Harumi.
Harumi. I think it's. I've no experience of this kind of thing.
Well, to be honest, he's no experience of hunting down and killing Oni himself either. And it would appear that he probably has wolves with him as well. If he used a wolf under his control to kill the Herbwife, then it's likely there's more wolves.
I think
Possibly the Lord of the Village might be interested in a wolf hunt.
yes, I was going to say I think we have to go back and inform him of what the situation is.
Very good.
Not sure that we can deal with a pack of wolves with an Oni behind them.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Well, tell the
the
ghost Gaki, whatever she is, that we will attempt to resolve the situation.
Okay. The priest will ask whether she wishes her door to be repaired and her garden tidied up, and No, she doesn't. That's material things which she's now past. Her only concern is the health of the village and those who she served in life, and the threat that the Oni is to them.
Is it possible that someone else will take over her role using this grove that she set up?
She will suggest that the headman speak to. Where are we?
She wants the situation.
Young Yuki. She's a young girl who was interested in herbs, and if she reads her notes and tries to follow in her footsteps. It may help the village.
Okay.
And but she would be grateful if she didn't come to the hut while the Oni is still a threat, because she's sorry, but sometimes she finds her anger rouses her, and she feels that she may lose control and hurt people.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're not going to disturb her any further.
She's grateful for the priest's visit and hopes that matters can be brought to a good conclusion.
We'll certainly do our best.
Okay, the priest will say the words of dismissal, and she sinks back into the floor.
Okay, guys. Looks like we're going to have to deal with potentially a pack of wolves controlled by an Oni.
Yep, I heard that.
And initially we're going to go out and talk to the Lord of the village.
Yep. I mean, maybe he'll send some men with us.
Yeah, try and rustle up some help.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he'll come himself.
Hopefully. I mean, if it's the local lord,
He
he'll
likes
want...
a wolf hunt, and he's got this opportunity.
And he'll want to protect his people, no doubt, eh? If he's a good lord.
Very good.
And,
Okay.
no need for any repair work for Fuhon'i.
And indeed, Baka.
Yeah.
No, she is beyond mortal things now, apart from those to which she dedicated her life.
Once this is over, then I'm sure the
Oh
villagers
yes,
will
once
will
it's
repair
over,
it
that's
anyway.
fine. I mean, you can even repair it now, but she's not interested in it for herself.
We'll leave the repairs for now.
Okay.
Let's head back.
I will not force you to make a tracking roll, because there is a lake in clear sight. So, you return to the village. Okay. And are you going to visit the Lord?
Well, yeah, if we can speak.
Yes. I'll take my armour off before I go in the Lord's Gaff.
Yes, please do. Please do. Put it on top setting.
Okay. You are granted an audience with the...
What's his name, this
Lord
lord?
Village?
David?
I wrote it down earlier, further up. Iwashita
say.
Nobuaki.
Oh yeah, you did, sorry.
Okay. The priest will bow politely and explain that thanks to the insight of Kinzo, he was able to summon the spirit of Sakuma. And it appears that she was killed by a wolf controlled by an Oni. It seems that the Oni of the valley to the north was displeased at that some of his wolves had been killed by the Lord of Yumogita in a wolf hunt, and was intending to poison the village, and demanded that Sakuma make some poison for him. When she refused, he had her killed. Obviously, his enmity is still present, and the spirit has petitioned that the Oni's grievance against the village be settled, or that the Oni himself be settled. And they felt they should return to the village and notify the Lord that of the situation. Okay, Lord's reaction. Let's see. Lord Iwashita is horrified that a simple wolf hunt has brought about the death of one of his villagers through the villainy of an Oni, and promptly declares that he intends travelling to that valley and destroying all wolves, as well as the Oni. He asks the priest to accompany him on this hunt to provide spiritual support against the Oni, and if he could see his way clear to having his servants accompany him, then he would be grateful.
You're about to push every button today, aren't you, Dave?
Yo, he's pushing all the buttons. You know I'm gonna be like Lord, and you've got me and my men that help you as well.
Yes, of course. Offer our services.
Yep, you've got me and my men, and our women and her magic. Yeah, wind up Kyūryū and let her loose. Exactly. We've got your back, Lord.
Yes, well, we'll need somebody to carry the wolf corpses, certainly for skinning.
Of course.
Very good. He will order his sergeant to get the men ready to sally forth tomorrow, and the valley to the north will be cleared.
Excellent.
Can I try and find the herbalist that was mentioned?
Yuki.
Yeah. And
that name haunts us, by the way. That name Yuki, that comes up all the time.
Does it?
Yes.
I'm sorry, that I just kind of looked that one up, and it's a diminutive of a longer name. That
I'm on to you, Dave. So's Nick noticed it as well.
Her full name is Yukiyoko, but since she isn't yet past her teens, it's her diminutive. She's known as Yuki. She is in fact 13. She's the niece of the headman, and the headman is surprised to hear that the Herbwife holds his niece in such esteem, and he's pleased to think that she might be skilled enough to assume Sukuma's role in the village, and he will speak with his sister about it.
We need to make our job safe first, though.
Get her niece a little more educated. He thanks you for passing on the message from Sukuma, and asks that Priest Teramune has dinner with his family as in gratitude for her wise words. Okay. So.
I will say to you guys that I think this lord might be a little bit touchy, so I don't press the wrong buttons when it's about to say the wrong thing.
Noted.
Treat him with a bit of deference and we should be alright.
Okie doke. So, do you want to do anything that night? Okay, the priest is going to fast and pray overnight to try and gain insight into how to deal with this foul creature of evil, and will think about. Let's see. He personally thinks that you lot are probably going to be better at dealing with an Oni than the Lord of the Village. Wolves, but the Village Lord doesn't have a lot of experience in dealing with the monsters themselves. He will consult with Kinzo as to whether or not it is worth trying to use the wind chime against the Oni.
Well, that's not the opportunity. I think that is that position.
Well, his concern is it may frighten the Oni off, but there's nothing to stop it returning.
Yeah, we want to take care of the Oni. You're dead quiet, by the way, Nick. I don't know if you're far away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just making some.
Well, we'll wait until you
In
get
the
back to
kitchen.
the microphone.
I'm back now.
Okay,
There we go.
Yeah, I think. I thought that we'll obviously take it with us, but it's just an emergency.
Yes.
If we need to
well,
get out of there
he's-
for some reason.
He certainly wouldn't object to you using it if everything was going to pot and
Yeah.
the Oni had a couple of hags in his back pocket or something like
Yeah,
that.
or something goes horribly wrong.
Or if a Dione happened to be visiting to have tea with him or something like that. But
It's the nuclear option if we need to save ourselves.
yes. I think if the Lord can deal with the wolves along with his men, and if you can try dealing with the Oni, he will bow politely to Harumi and ask if Harumi has anything which might prove valuable against
Yeah, it's going to be
a
down to
supernatural
you
creature like an Oni.
to try and exercise him or whatever it's called. Or hurt him in some
Try
way.
exercising. I do have my spells.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're going to definitely going to need you to use everything you've got, Harumi, I think.
Yes. Well, he is certainly intending to try to exorcise this being.
The rest of us can do is badly mangle his body, but that's not going to get rid of him.
Well, he
It's
understands
going to
that
annoy him.
only need defeating on both the spiritual and the physical.
Even if we kill his body, it's just going to really piss him off and he'll come back angry.
Yes. But the question is what he can do to assist in terms of the.
We'll take care of the physical plane, Harumi, and our priest, I forget his name, will take care of the
Terramune.
ceremony. They'll take care of the, what do you call the plane? Spiritual plane?
Spiritual plane,
Yes.
Now,
I don't
Priest
know whether
Terramune has capabilities.
you've got really two choices. You can either try and exercise him or do something, or might be worth thinking about the possibility of trying to protect people from his magic. I don't know which is going to be best.
Well, he can certainly try and I mean, he has basic protection himself against his magic. He can try and shield the party from the magic of the.
You can do the spell shield.
He has his spell shield is medium range.
Yep.
He is level 3, and that means that it would go up to 15 yards from him.
Yep.
So as long as you stay within 15 yards of him, then he can add his magic resistance of his religious power against any spells that the foul creature casts. Dumpty. But that costs him 1 per turn.
Yeah.
He can try to, let's see, exorcism. I can try and drive off, and effectively he can reduce the spirit power of the Oni. If it's only living down in the valley and controlling wolves, it's probably not that powerful. But attacking it physically and him trying to deal with it spiritually certainly are the best ways. Now, one thing he will offer is he can do a few blessings. And he's not mastered, but he's pretty near mastery on Gnana Yoga and Hatha Yoga. And Hatha Yoga would increase one physical attribute by knowledge over 5. Gnana Yoga would increase a mental attribute by knowledge over 5.
Gnana Yoga? Oh, yeah, mental attribute,
So Gnana Yoga is mental attribute, Hatha Yoga is physical attribute. Saving throws, BCS scores, and hit points, he's only got around 60. Now,
that's the message.
that's the problem. It costs him knowledge used over 10.
Yeah,
So that is going to be expensive. If you think that it would be useful, he is going to put a blessing of Gnana Yoga on himself, i.e. he can invoke a blessing on his mental attributes, because he may need that against the Oni.
I think blessing us is going to drain too much of his power.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
Everyone remember as well that we have a powerful blessing that we can all activate as well when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Might be time to think about all using it. Just throwing everything we've got at this guy.
Priest Terramune wouldn't disagree, but wouldn't necessarily agree, given that this is not part of your quest. It's a side quest.
But it's still, I don't know. It's an Oni, isn't it? It's very powerful. That's what I worry about.
Well, it's certainly powerful enough to control the beasts of the forest. Whether it's very powerful,
it's fine. We're very powerful.
Let's see, where are we?
Will I need to ask the Lord for permission to wear armor? Or will that be assumed?
It would not be impolite to ask the Lord.
I will ask him politely.
Ask him.
Would I be allowed in your presence while we help you on this quest to wear my armor and carry whatever weapons I need to carry?
Yes. He is willing to, for you to do so.
Thank you.
He's a little surprised, but he's willing for you to do so. Right, so... Okay, the Lord will muster his 10 Ashigaru, and his son will be going along as well. Blood him on the wolves. Yeah. He was along on the wolf trip. And you head north. Now, I am going to have to apologise and cut matters short at this time because this has only come up because I rolled an 01 on an encounter.
It was a random roll
Yes.
and you don't have it prepared. Yeah, no worries, mate. It happens.
It's alright, Dave.
Yeah, it happens. You rolled a random encounter that's
Oh.
not prepared
Yeah,
in roll
that's
20.
okay.
All good, mate.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, I will prepare this so that we have the battle plan laid out for next time.
Nice one.
And you will be fighting an Oni and his pet wolves,
Fun. I can't
which I'm
wait.
sure you will enjoy.
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
Anyway, sorry for the short duration of this,
That's all right.
this
No
session.
worries, mate. That happens when these random things come up in a session. You have to prepare for it.
It'll give us an idea of how tough it is. Well,
Yeah.
what it's like to go up against an Oni.
Look forward to it.
Very good. In that case, I shall say
Thank you
good
very
night
much.
to you all.
Thank
And should I? I don't know. Why not? Dumpty 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 dum. Let us see. Random quote for the week. This is especially appropriate to Baka.
It's a good one.
Who chases two rabbits catches neither. When your focus is divided, you'll fail to succeed at either. So choose your rabbit carefully.
Words of wisdom. Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone,
Okay.
for the game.
Have a
Yeah,
wonderful
cheers,
week, everybody, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time.
See you all in 2 weeks.
Oh.
It is.
Good night.